Welcome to the podcast where we discuss all matters financial planning and investing. This content contains general information only and may not be relevant to everyone. Please contact our office to make sure and determine if this is relevant for you. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. I'm David Loughlin, and today I want to really talk to you about using leverage to build your wealth. And it's probably not the leverage that you're thinking of. Most people think, oh, go and borrow some money and those sorts of things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about leveraging the experience of what's other people have experienced, what other people have done, and the most expensive lessons that you learn that generally from yourself, when you can learn from other people's mistakes. And one of the probably unique positions we get to be in as a financial planner, I've got over 300 clients. I can see what has worked and what hasn't. From myself, like I've made plenty of mistakes over time where if I had it over again, there's no doubt that I could make a lot more money than I have, even though I feel like I've done pretty well. And also over the next sort of 10 or 15 years, what I'll be doing will get me to a position where I probably never thought was possible. But understanding the leverage of what's worked for other people and what hasn't, I think generally your skill set is going to be quite limited. Like you might be an expert engineer, you might be an expert in your field, whatever that may be. But when it comes to money, it's actually very difficult to become an expert, and it takes years of experience, whether learning how to use the share market or superannuation or property or business. All these things take they have a certain amount of risk. There's a lot of understanding that needs to be had, and going to learn all that stuff can really take you a lifetime from trial and error and all those things. I just know from my personal experience growing sort of my financial planning business, I thought it was going to happen a lot easier until I ran into a coach that I was like, you know what? I know all this stuff and this is all great, but I can't communicate that well to audiences and so forth. And I got the financial planning coach. And one of the problem I had was probably our pricing initially is off. When you first start a business, you're trying to be as cheap as humanly possible and get people in the door and all those sorts of things. But as soon as I leveraged his knowledge to say, you know what, if you don't change course, you're going to be out of business. In which I did. And then I was able to grow that aspect. And then I've had aspects of the business where I've had problems in sales, I've had problems in marketing. And over years of experience, you just get better and better at all those things. And I'm 10 years down the track in that. And I've obviously with around that sort of 300 clients, I think I've learned a thing or two. And we've had many success stories. Some things haven't worked as good as I would like, and everything in between. But that knowledge is really key. Like when someone comes to us as a financial planner, it's very difficult for them to plan their situation without that leverage of knowledge. And whether that comes into sort of just financial planning, you might want to be a direct share trader. That's something we don't specialize in, but you might want to go down that track, and you would need to learn all the strategies that go with that. But also then you would need the 10 years of experience. And when it comes to trading, and I've done a lot of that in my past, it's more about your emotional intelligence than anything else, because generally when you start out those things, everything works until, something doesn't. And you get put under pressure, and people handle pressure in different ways. And so when it comes to trading in the share market, I always find it interesting when someone will say to me, I'll just put a little bit of money into that and see how it goes. And generally, those things don't work out too well when you just put a little bit of money and see how it goes. And it goes with property investment. You hear on the news and a lot of people talk about property, how well they've done. And that does happen, but there's another side of that when plenty of people don't do really well out of property as well. So there's two sides of that. And I've had my own experience and how I've used property in that. And in financial planning, most financial planners, when it comes to property, we can't select properties and all that sort of things for a lot of people. But just from my own experience, I've made a lot of money in different types of property and adding value and being in them at the right times and so forth. And just have an understanding on how that works is incredible. And there's guys that have done millions times more than me and really property experts. But learning what they have done and taking all the risks that they've done, there's a lot of leverage in that, and trying to find the guys or girls, if property is an area of choice for yourself, that can really help you in that, can really shorten the curve than the trial and error, which is really the thing, an area. And then you probably have business as well. A lot of people go and start up a business because they think they're going to get more time. I don't think anything could be further from the truth. Even in my business to now, 10 years on, I spend a lot of time in it. I spend a lot of hours on it. I spend a lot of thinking about it. It's one of those things that is harder as well. And then you've really got superannuation, which is really complicated for a lot of people to understand. The share market's very difficult to understand. Property market's very scary for a lot of people, and business is a lot of business fails, let's be honest. So all of those areas you really need, if you're investing in those or learning about those, you need to use leverage and use the leverage of what's worked for other people and how they've done it to really get a good understanding of how this can potentially work for you. And I think as I move through my career and I lean on different people, there's different people I follow and different coaches that's been a part of at different times. I think if you want to go faster, it's got to be a we conversation, not an I conversation. So you need a team, and it's my financial planning team now. I have other advisor, I have support staff, I have paraplanners, I have a lot of people around me that can help me move forward and really build this. And it's much more exciting, and obviously there's challenges and so forth that come with that, but I think it's such a progress point. And then if you're trying to leverage and really build your wealth and building out your team, if super and standard financial planning is what you're after, you're getting a financial planner to help you. If you want to go down the property path, making sure you select the right property people to help you on that path. If you're going into business, once you get in there, getting the right business coach to really help you in there, using the leverages and skill sets of all these people is what can really fast track your results. Going alone, and I've done that in a lot of things in my life, and I just look back at it and I go, you know what, if I had done this, it would be so much faster. Or if I'd done that, it'd be so much faster. I wish, even when I've trained some sort of young financial planners, I wish I could put my experience that I have on their shoulders, because with experience, you just know what to do in the circumstances that come up. And that can be to do with just a financial planning. It can really helping people understand what the benefit that you're actually providing to them. There's a whole bunch of things. And in ours, it's hugely complicated to get your cash flow right. A lot of people really don't understand really what they're spending, and you can be honest with yourself. Do you understand what you're spending or not? And where is all that money going? And then where is my super going? Most people have a superannuation. Is that on track for the amount of money that you need? Or do you have some shares that you might have invested in? A lot of people go for the get rich quick. You got to be really careful of that. Like a lot of people buy into the crypto stuff thinking that it's going to go to the moon. Really, from what I've seen of all the people who've made exceptional amounts of money, it hasn't happened overnight. Generally, it's happened over 20 or 30 years. Yeah, sure, there are some young zillionaires out there, but generally over time, you'd be amazed what you can build over time by really leveraging what other people have done and using that information to your advantage. And probably one of the big key without making all the mistakes. You know, it's like if someone tells you, don't touch that stove, it's hot, you just touch it a little bit, right, and it burns you. And with money, it can really paralyze you to do anything. And you don't want to be stuck and paralyzed and not be able to move forward. Because basically what I find everyone craves is really being able to move forward financially and getting a system in place. And that's why we created a system I call the Shield system. Really, when it comes to financial planning, it's really simple. Control your money, control your cash flow, your inflowing, your outflow. Make sure you select from your investments, like the main ones, whether it's super, share market, property, or your business, and what do they need and how are they going to be able to help you get to that position of financial independence one day. And then you have other things outside of business, like I think there's a lot of things that go with our identity, whether you're into fitness, whether into helping other people and helping organizations, or whatever it may be, and whatever you're passionate about, you can really start to follow all those things and get to that position of really helping and contributing and moving forward. And from a financial standpoint, it's really hard to do and help a lot of people if you don't have any money. It's like it's a lot of people ask me about what should I be doing for my kids in a lot of circumstances. The stronger and the more powerful you get financially, you'll be able to help your kids down the track. The best thing you'll be able to do for them is, from the lessons that you've learned, be able to pass that on. But also, if you want to leave a family legacy and all those type of things, you need to be able to look after yourself, and then you can look after others and move along that track. So today is really about using the power of leverage. And while there is power in borrowing money to invest, that's not what this is about. It's more about use the resources that you have around you. There's a lot of free ones around. There's a lot of free things on YouTube, and you can learn a lot of things. However, if you don't take a leap of faith and get some help with things, generally you're going to get stuck and you won't move forward like you really hope to move forward. So this one's all about really take the step, get your first sort of help, however that, whatever that looks like. I know from everything that I've learned, like I've got really 300 clients helping me with all their information about how they've been able to get things to work, and obviously clearly showing me things that haven't worked, which I'd be an idiot not to be able to see. But in your case, I think a financial plan is one thing. There's all other aspects of your life that you can have a plan for and action, and just getting to that ability to be able to start actioning those things and really getting someone to help you be accountable. Like at the end of the day, all plans are great. If we write it down, but we don't do anything about it, nothing's going to change. So it's really important to be able to take action steps and having someone help you in that, and really using the power of leverage and the skills of other people, I think can really help you go a long way with your finances and every other aspect of your life. So I hope that helps. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to talking with you soon.